Yes, one. Yes. Well, good afternoon, everybody. And first of all, thank you very much to the organizers of this event for inviting us here today. I picked up on something that you said before. House is burning. I would add, it's also flooding. Yeah, just yesterday, my hometown was hit by a very severe storm, and actually, I think it was 3,000 hectares of terrain have been flooded by the sea. So we are burning and flooding, which is a great situation. Right, so the organizers have asked me if I could give a brief introduction or a brief summary of what the European Green Deal and the renovation wave will be in the next few months. So on the European Green Deal, the first element is the objective to increase the ambition of the CO2 reduction up to at least 50% by 2030. And then climate neutrality by 2050. There, one of the biggest elements is the renovation wave. There is the objective to double the renovation rate, and you have heard it many times, but you know that buildings account for energy for 40% of the energy consumption in the EU and 32% of CO2 emissions. In other words, if we want to get to 50% reduction, we might be able to do it if we nail everything else perfectly by 2030. So if we fix transport and we fix industry and telecommunications and everything, we might be able to get to 2030, but there is no way we will do that. And there is no way we can get climate neutrality by 2050 unless we touch the building sector, because it's the biggest one. So we need to get this right. Now, in terms of the renovation wave, that's the why and what it means and what are the Commission's next steps. So first of all, we are going to engage with a platform of stakeholders to bring together building and construction sector, architects, engineers, and public authorities. So all the elements of the consumers as well, sorry. All the elements of the supply, but also of the public. The objectives are several. We want to develop innovative financings, promote energy efficiency in buildings, and also pull the renovation efforts across the board. There is one very important and visible element both in the European Green Deal and in the renovation wave, which is energy poverty. And it's featured very prominently. It's a rather serious problem for many households across the EU, and in particular in one member state it reaches almost 40% of the population being on the threshold or under the threshold of energy poverty. So it can be a very serious situation. So this is one element that has a huge visibility in both the European Green Deal and the renovation wave. We also think that we can concentrate on several sectors. The first one would be social housing, then schools and hospitals, because these are sectors where there is big impact, but also it's possible to pool efforts. And then following this platform with stakeholders, we aim to publish a Commission communication in the third trimester, so probably September, with more information on what will the next steps be. Also, would like to highlight one of the main objectives, again mentioned both in the European Green Deal and the renovation wave, is the importance of the implementation of current legislation. We have just approved in 2018 a revision of the Energy Performance of Buildings Directive. You worked on it, I believe. So for us, it's very important that this directive is transposed and implemented as well as possible. And finally, just remember that renovation is not only a matter of lowering energy bills or a matter of environment and climate, it's also better living conditions. And it can also increase the value of a building. So it's not just we're doing it in order to save money, we're also doing it in order to increase the value of our properties, but also because it leaves me living in better conditions, better noise conditions, better air conditions inside the building, etc. And just one final element about the role of ALDREN. The type of actions and indicators proposed by ALDREN for us we think that can be of great assistance in triggering renovations, carrying out the renovations once this decision has been taken, but also monitor what's happening with the building afterwards. So very relevant for us.
Thank you.